Hi, welcome to the Night Vision Show. In this week's episode, Pro Star for Danny is out August foxing on whole crop. But first, I take a look at the new high-definition thermal binoculars from Pulsar, the new Merger XL50 LRF, and see how they compare against older Merger XP50 LRFs. Hiya, Tim from Scott Country National. Today we're back up at the Bainlock Deer Park in Dumfries and Galloway, and we're going to be doing a bit of a shootout between the mergers. Now we've got the Merger LRF XP50, and this is a 640 by 480 sub 25 millikelvin sensor resolution on this one. It's my current thermal binoculars, and then we've got the Merger XL. These are a 1024 by 768 sub 40 millikelvin net D sensor resolution, and is projecting a true HD image quality. So all we're going to do is we're going to go out, we're going to do them side by side and just show you comparisons. We're going to go up all the way through the zoom range. So we're going to start on the base mag, then we're going to go up to ×5, then we're going to go up to ×10 and up to ×20, and just show what the pixelization is between obviously the XLs and the XPs, mainly on functionality and what's difference on the price. Obviously there's a big jump in price, but there's a big jump in quality and performance as well. So we've got a little pigeon sitting here on a balcony from where I was staying. You can see stepping in the zooms there from 2.5 and flicking over to the XLs, same distance, roughly about 20 yards, and then I'll flick in again ×5, ×10, ×20, just seeing the difference in clarity. Here's a little rabbit there as well, similar distance, just to give you a bit of perspective. Again, back over to the XPs now on the first set of deers, 163 yards. On base mag, a 2.5, ×5, ×10, ×20, zooming all the way in there. You'll see the pixelization, and just scanning the area there, just seeing some other deer. So you'll see the clarity you're getting on the XPs, but the pixelization you gain once you start on the zoom factor. And just at close range again, just stepping all the way in, just to give you a different perspective on sort of different deer size targets and different ranges. It's only at 50 yards there. Nice and clear on the base mag, but once you're up on the ×20, massive pixelization. And we flick over to the XLs again. Seeing the deer, this little deer come through the undergrowth, up, flicking through the base mag to ×5, up to 10, up to 20. See the outlines of the deer are much more crisper through the XLs. That's just to do with the sensor resolution. And just scanning around here, back out to these stags that are sitting in the long grass. Easy identifiable. 152 meters, and then we're just going through the base mags all the way through again. And same process again with the XL50s. One thing you do have to do with the XL50s is you have to constantly focus them ever so slightly just to get the best picture. They're not as sensitive as the XP, so a bit of a trade-off again. Back to the XPs now. These are some long-range deer just sitting up here under this little tree line. Again, once you start zooming into that sort of distance, you can't sort of distinguish what's what on that one. With the XLs again, once you zoom in, you're not losing sort of that clarity. You can still see the outline of the trees. You can still see the outline of the deer. That's what you gain with the bigger sensor rate. So yeah, just a little side by side there, just to see the two, once you zoom in through it all, how they function side by side. Right, so we're out foxing now. As you can see, I'll explain to some of the customers at the game fair how I use the recon on the roof of the truck in the prone position like that. Have it set up, ready to go. So it's just set up on the roof of the truck like that. Small spigot in, good to go. That gives me the pivot I need. So using the Hour 243 with a Thermion 2 XG50 LRF, the Merger XP50 LRFs, all available from Scott Country. So I'll just give you a quick rundown on the XL. So obviously I've done a quick comparison video between the Merger XL50 and the XP50. Now the beauty of the sub 40 with the HD sensor giving you the ability to zoom in a considerable amount. So as you'll see from the deer footage that's on there, running the two side by side, fairly similar distances. What you don't get with the XP, obviously on the base mag on 2.5 you get a really crisp clear picture, but you lose the ability to zoom in. So anything sort of over ×5 picture in picture, you're going to start to degrade on. So once you're up to ×10, ×20 on the XP, you're losing all the clarity. So great for base mag, but what you do get with the XLs is obviously being at sub 40 and being a 1024 768 sensor, giving you the ability to zoom in. Obviously you do get pixelization again, but you'll get that with all digital products, no matter what the quality or what the spec rate is. But again, in terms of functionality, all exactly the same. With like video compression on this, you're getting up on 98 minutes of continuous recording, which is massive. So I'll put a few bits of footage in. I've had these 48 hours now I've owned these. So I was out the other night, I'll put in there a fox that I took there with these, and another fox obviously I shot with the Thermion XG. So good thing with the XG, the Thermion 2XG 50 LRF, again that's a 640/480 sensor with sub 40, giving you that ability to go from ×3 to ×24 zoom. So between the two of these units you're getting absolute functionality. So again, so a bit more footage I put on there. So I've done a few rabbits at various distances, a few foxes. Had a little fox sneak out on me the other night, literally it must have been about 30 yards, but I just couldn't get the rifle down onto him to shoot that one. So he was one to be filmed, which was a nice thing, because I was about to film it really close quality using a high quality. A few pictures of the stags and some other various bits and bobs at various distances. A few row, just showing the capability of the XL. Obviously, once you're into the open area, the actual true quality of the HD sensor comes into its own. So it really is something special. Again, having owned all the way through the Accolade series, the Mergers, XPs, and now the XLs, they are, like I say, they are expensive, but there is nothing else out there like it. Just to summarise between the two, if you want nice crystal clear close range footage, go with the XP. If you want that long range capability, go with the XL. Again, both of these products are available on our website. If you head over to scottcountry.co.uk and get yours now for immediate dispatch.
See wildlife in an entirely new way with the Pulsar Merger XP50 LRF high definition thermal binoculars. With an incredible 2,300 meter detection range and a variable 2.5 to 20 times magnification, the Merger XL brings stunning detail at any magnification range to the world of handheld thermal. Find out more at www.scottcountry.co.uk.
Hi, Danny here from Scott Country International, out tonight with the Merger XP50 LRF, and on the beast I have Thermion 2 XP50 PRO LRF. Farmers have been busy cutting all the whole crop and the grass, so let's hope we get a bumper night tonight. So, had a couple of nights out on whole crop stubble and on grass, and successful, to be honest with you. Been really quiet up until now. Had 7 in total in the bag and 2 I couldn't shoot. Out, as I said, using the Pulsar Merger XP50 LRFs, which, you know, I think are amazing. And on the beast, the Thermion 2 XP50 PRO LRF, which, you know, as you'll see from the footage, I've really stretched it on what I'm looking at and what I'm trying to achieve with it, and it meets every need. So You know, when I went out, essentially the first one I got to, pulled into a gateway, and there's 3 gates, and I looked basically working my way around, looked left, and there was a vixen, and she was about 100 and plus 150 meters, but she was going away, traversed away, quartered away from me. So I went back, got the rifle, rested on a gate post, which is why it's a bit ropey, just on stability. Squeaked, just one simple hand squeak, and she came bolting in. So that infused, I had to shout to stop her because the whistle wasn't working. So we got to the stop, dispatched her cleanly. Move round, another farm, pull onto the kind of driveway where the paddocks are, and in on the grass, there was another vixen. She was about 120 metres, 115 metres, but the wind had kind of dropped, so I didn't want to get any closer. Again, got the rifle out, got on her, and like the first one, I shot at ×2 base mag, because the pitch was that good, you know, I got into it, and then because it was a little bit further, it was like about 110 at that point, I think. I zoomed in to ×4 mag, and it was just, you know, you lose a little bit of the fine quality, but it's still really, really good imagery. And then give a quick dispatch on that. Moved through into the next field, and essentially this is one I couldn't shoot, so I pulled in because the wind had completely dropped. I was walking up the hill, which is clearly not great anyway for shooting, and on the hedgerow looking down at me, I wasn't too sure if it was a young roe at first. Just I'd seen this heat signature, I hadn't really looked at it properly, so I stopped and looked, put the rifle out, just have a steadier look, and there was I couldn't tell if it was a dog or a vixen looking straight at me, but then wasn't spooked, but was aware something was right, so it wasn't right. So then it trots off, but at no point did it actually present me with a safe shot. So unfortunately I had to leave that one, but I will catch up with it. You can guarantee that. So then went back around the field and pulled up the drive, going towards the main farm, and on the right I saw which turned out to be a large dog fox, but it was injured, and it's got and you can see a prominent limp, and you can see it on the image quite clearly. What's interesting, I zoomed into ×16. Yes, it gets very pixelated, but that's ×16 at around 260 meters. So, you know, you can't really pick holes in that, because, you know, I know exactly what I'm shooting. I'm looking at shot placement. I didn't shoot it there and then because literally it wouldn't stop, and it just wasn't. It wasn't ready for me to shoot it, in the sense that it just kept moving, and then went behind some cover. So I quickly parked up the truck properly on the drive, so I wasn't obstructing the drive. Got over into the field, and then basically got up and tried to stalk onto it. I couldn't find it at all. It's a big field, and I couldn't see where likely points were. I couldn't see anywhere. Anyway, I turned around just to head back to the car, and it was below me, and it just in the dead ground, and it was literally walking. You can see the prominent limp, but it was around, I think, 150, 160 meters. But because it was so still and he was an old boy, there's no way I can mess around, because you'll see it stops and he kind of looks. At that point, yeah, I was in on him, and then it was a straight dispatch, which was great, to be honest with you. But the stalk of the hunt was really good. And then so from there, I then went to another farm, pulled into their drive, and I could see with the mergers, and it was about 300 meters where I was originally, at the top field. It was over several fields. Charlie had just literally went through the hedgerow, so I got the rifle out to film it and see what I could do with the range, etc., and see if it was popped back out to a call, but it wasn't interested. So literally, you can see very briefly, but clearly, but at ×8 mag it's kind of blurred, but you can see it's a Charlie. But then go back to ×2 and you can see it's absolutely bang on a Charlie. I know it's a small video clip, but it's just kind of showing the experience. That was over 300 meters away. I was never going to shoot that, but it was just showing the kind of at range what you're going to see. Because I have had people speaking at shows saying, but yeah, at range you can't really tell what things are. Anyone that hunts can tell that that's a fox from its movement and the way it looks at over 300 meters. which I think is quite impressive. So that kind of summed up that night, and then I went out again, and essentially it was kind of a bit haphazard. So there's nothing, and all of a sudden, you know, I was looking at a field in a dead ground, and I thought it was a roe at first, like a fawn, because of the way it was moving. It was kind of steady. It wasn't doing the kind of normal fox movement. But I got myself set up and I looked, and I just watched it, and I squeaked, and literally it turned, it came towards me, started walking towards me, purposefully but not bolting in, but again, you know, set up on it and waited, and let it come in as close as I can. But then again, because there wasn't a lot of wind, it kind of steadied up, and I just had to take a shot. Again, straight dispatch into the chest with the VMAX, which works well. So yeah, we then went up to cross on some grass, and essentially it was in along the grass. It was quite far out. Initially I thought it was 180 metres when I pinged, but I'd missed the target. I pinged the wood behind it. It was about 130 metres away, but he wouldn't stop, and it was literally just left and right and just moving, and he wouldn't present me with a clean back, with a good backstop. So because I was in a bit of low ground as well, but again, because it was still, I had to be very, very mindful of the noise. And so I literally, as it moves across, I then stopped recording because I then moved to get into a better position, but I didn't hit the record button. So that was really good. And then the other one was literally, he was mooching about. You know, I'd been out, walked the ground, and nothing. And then as I was coming back through, I normally go across the field, but I thought, there's nothing here. I'm going along the track. I'll just walk on the track and stay on the track. It's a bit noisy, but I'll just stay on the track because, yeah, my feet were going to get wet from all the dew and stuff. So I went back round the tree line, looked back, and literally a dog fox came out from behind me. I disturbed it. It was in the cover, and came out, and it was literally just about to go into a hedgerow, and so literally I just had to get myself quickly set up. That's why it's all a bit shaky. Get in and get that dispatched. But again, you see, you know, 4 times magnification, and sometimes into 8. You know, you see the full detail. You know exactly what that quarry is. It's a fox. And then pretty much the last one, I'd seen it. I was checking the gateways, and I'd seen it at the bottom by a chicken farm. So I drove all the way around about half a mile to get to the top of the field where I knew it was going to come onto, and got myself set. And there he was coming up the field. It was just literally mousing and doing his bits and pieces. But again, it was good. Started traversing across the left. But you'll see the quality of the imagery. It's really good. That's in ×4 magnification, so it was bang on, and literally stopped, broadside on, dispatch, which put an end to that night, which was really good. So all in all, you know, we had a successful couple of days. The kit, you know, as I said, you know, I can't fault anything about my kit, and it's really brought some really good effective shooting over the last few years, yeah, the image quality, regardless of what range you're at, is really good. You know, you see the definition. This one I haven't talked about the definition of the trees and the foliage and all the bits and pieces behind it you can see from the sensors, but more about the actual getting on your quarry. Utilising the recon at CT1's phenomenal, and especially for the activity I'm about to go into now, and providing some cover watch for game birds, it's perfect because I can literally have the rifle set up, using the mergers to spot, and then get in. So stay tuned for that. That one's to follow. Anyway, this is Danny from Scott Country International. Out.